Hello! Happy April! So, as of today, April 1st, it's been 2 whole years since I started this channel on April Fool's Day for my own personal amusement during the early days of the plague. Yeah. So anyway, to mark the occasion and do something a bit weird for this day of nonsense, I present Gunne Snacks. Yeah, snacks. I got the idea when I was shopping for fabric for Gunne Sax. I found this amazing artist who makes really adorable whimsical prints, and while adorable and whimsical are not words I'd ever use to describe myself, I did end up buying a few to make my mini-human a Halloween treat bag. And then I came across this fabric and knew I had to use it for something. Unfortunately, I'd never wear something like this. You know who would, though. So, mini Gunne Snacks. Let's go. Because we continue to live in hell's armpit and it's been summer since February, I definitely did not want to do one of those Gunne Sax dresses with billowing sleeves. Instead, I found this adorable dress on Etsy. Honestly, if it was black, even I'd wear this one. Luckily for me, I just made my daughter a birthday dress recently, and the bodice pattern was almost exactly the same as what I'll need for this. I quickly cut out a lining in white cotton lawn and then began the truly delightful task of cutting chiffon. Yes, I chose chiffon. Actual genius right here. Seriously though, it's a great fabric. It's a little wobbly, but it tears perfectly on grain. Look, more snacks. My lovely friend Jess from Penny River Costumes made these for me, and as much as I like my giant rocks for pattern weights, these are a little safer for fabric. After cutting the bodice, I quickly stitched the outer fabrics together and the lining pieces together. This will be bag lined in a bit. Next, straps. To make these, I just cut a long strip of fabric and then folded it in on itself a few times, kind of like making bias tape. I could have made a long fabric tube and turned it out, but I hate doing that. This is easier and more satisfying to me. I carefully pressed the strip and then stitched both sides to reinforce the piece. To attach the straps to the bodice, I carefully sandwiched them between the outer fabric and the lining, making sure right sides were together. This way, the straps are attached at the same time as you're bag lining the bodice. I'm leaving the back straps free for now because they'll be attached with buttons for better adjustability. I actually find it a lot easier to use minimal pins when working with wobbly fabric. It's so malleable and it usually goes where you want it. Well, sometimes. It came out okay. One good press to prepare for top stitching, and then the bodice is pretty much functional. It was at this point that I went from feeling confident that this was a super quick project to feeling intense dread as I realized how much ruffling and lace was in my future. I spent the next hour glued to my serger making ruffles and finishing skirt edges for both the exterior panels and the underskirt bit, but that wasn't the worst part. I then had to run 45 miles of gathering stitches and then evenly spread the ruffles along the skirt. Much of this is out of focus, so sorry about that. If this isn't the twirliest skirt ever, I officially quit. I didn't do a super neat job attaching the lace, but I don't care. It's attached and it's for a kid. It doesn't matter. With the skirt sufficiently ruffled, it was time to attach it to the bodice. I made 2 mistakes here, which you'll see in a second. It took forever to get things evenly spaced and the gathers stitched down, but slicing off the gross bits with the serger was very satisfying. Until I realized what I'd forgotten. The skirt lining. The dress was so neat on the inside that I nearly left it out, but I mean, it's chiffon. You can't pretend it's not sheer. I fixed it, and I accidentally used pink thread. It's staying. Mistake number 2, I did not decorate the bodice before stitching everything together, so now I have to hide the ends, and that's just annoying. Oh well. To make the decorative front, I stitched down 2 pieces of lace and then covered it with another strip of fabric. I decided not to do lace around the top edge of the bodice as was seen in the original because that is 100% guaranteed to start the whole "this is itchy" diatribe, so no. I added some buttons, fake on the front and real in the back, and I desperately wish they were more fun than these bone buttons I stole from my 18th century sewing supplies, but here we are. Maybe I'll swap them out later. As you can probably see, the resident house panther was really helpful during this process. Ta-da! Complete. I also made a sash at some point, and I have no idea why there's no footage. Oh well, it's a sash. Super wild. Thank you so much for joining me in something completely random. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you feel like it. My upload schedule is a giant mess right now as I prepare to have hand surgery. More info on that can be found on Instagram, but I sincerely appreciate all of you for hanging out with me for the past 2 years. Also, if you feel so inclined, please join me and my fellow costuming people in this silly collaboration, which will be running from now until, well, people are done, I guess. So yeah, see you soon. Bye.